like the agents, he believes probably that his agent knew. Because if they're saying that LeBron knew, Rich Paul knew. And Rich Paul represents AD. So I'm not saying that definitively. I'm not saying that because I spoke to Anthony Davis. But I believe a part of him is like, nah, somebody got to know. Somebody got to know.
Of course somebody got to know, bro. And of course Rich Paul knew. Of course LeBron knew. You guys got to realize, man, look. When you think about it, right? When you think about it, Anthony Davis thought he was safe because he allowed LeBron to put his wing around him. So he thought that he was safe this entire time. Anthony Davis, if you looked at the beginning of that game with the Mavs before he got hurt, this man put up like 22 points in the first quarter damn near. Like he was on pace to have like a 50-point night. And he probably would have. But what happens is Anthony Davis thought like he mild and toned down his stats over the last 5 seasons with LeBron, 6 seasons with LeBron. Because LeBron, he was under LeBron's wing. He knows how bad it hurts LeBron's ego. You can't be a better player than LeBron on his own team. So he spent the last 6 seasons taking a lot of the fair share of the blame and being the second fiddle on the team because he thought LeBron was going to have his back and protect him at the end of the day. He most likely thought it would never happen to me. They would never trade me. I'm a Clutch Sports client. I'm a Rich Paul client. Anything, and even if they ever thought about trading me, Rich Paul would have to tell me. Rich Paul would have to let me know. Because it's in his contract to have to let me know. If all of this is true, you guys got to realize that Rich Paul most likely violated some contracts. And I'm not saying that that's not, that Rich Paul would never do that, because I remember there being an issue with Nerlens Noel years ago who sued Rich Paul due to some type of discrepancies with Rich Paul telling him not to sign to certain teams. Gave him some very bad advice that cost him millions and millions of dollars. And he was out of the league shortly after. So, again, bro, you have to realize, like, Rich Paul is LeBron. LeBron and Rich Paul are the same person. If LeBron wants to get rid of another client of his, he's going to do so. I think Anthony Davis thought because of how great he was as a player that LeBron would just never do him like that. Rich Paul would never do him like that because Rich Paul allegedly supposed to work for him. Nah, bro, they don't give a fuck. This is a dictatorship, like I've been saying, and this is how Clutch Sports / LeBron runs his empire. To hell with everyone else. He will burn you alive. He will throw you into a lake of fire and watch your body burn. And while you scream for his help, he will turn his back and put some headphones on and act like he didn't hear anything. If it means that he gets a leg up and another opportunity to win a championship. This man is a snake.
Somebody got to know. Now, in terms of Colin Cowherd saying that LeBron knew for the last year and a half, it's possible. It's absolutely possible. Some of y'all are like, no, that's impossible. No, it's not. And I'll give you guys concrete evidence of it. You don't have to listen to me. Let me see. Let me see if I can. Lenny Kravitz, right? Lenny Kravitz, right? Miami Heat trade.
Man, this boy sound like he about to Draymond sound like he about to pull out some heat. I actually remember the story he's talking about, but I'm gonna let him talk about it.
I'd seen this video some years ago, right? So there was a video. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. I found it. What we want to do is want to play this quick sound for you guys now. It's only a minute or so. It's a video that came out 14 years ago, and it's of Lenny Kravitz talking about before the trade even went down between the Miami Heat. That went down. He said they were working on it for a long time already. Take a listen to Lenny Kravitz here.
LeBron joined Miami. Was that exciting for you?
Well, it was interesting because
Chris, of course.
I had heard the conversations going on for a year, in the background, and I wasn't sure that it was going to happen. And then it happened. It was very exciting for the city and for my team,
So you heard what Lenny Kravitz had to say. Now, how the hell does Lenny Kravitz know what the Miami Heat were doing and about trades going on? It means that there is a possibility that LeBron has been a part of things that have been worked on behind the scenes that the general public doesn't know about, but most people.
Ding, 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 ding. And that's where we come full circle with this whole claim of Colin Cowherd, bro. People will sit here and say, Colin Cowherd, go read his comment section. I'm pretty sure there's going to be plenty of people calling him conspiracy theorist or this isn't real journalism. Well, newsflash, it never was. None of this shit is journalism that they do. They're not journalists anymore. They're the same thing that Dreamers Pro is. They're the same thing that GOAT and everybody else on YouTube does. They just talk. They have ideas. They have scenarios. They talk. Because Skip Bayless created the embrace debate aspect of journalism. That killed real journalism. Now everything is a debate, but it's not even about facts. What do you think versus what do you think? Notice I said think and not know. It's not what do you know and what do you know about the story. It's what do you guys think? Back and forth, back and forth. Journalism, First Take, TV shows like that, they're basically SmackDown versus Raw. It's the same shit. It's wrestling. It's not real. I say that all the time about just social media, movies, everything. You know how we used to watch prank videos? They used to make TV shows out of them. Ashton Kutcher had one and all this other. All this shit ain't real, y'all. For everybody that watches them celebrity shows, baddies, and all the other shows where all this conflict is going on and everybody's fighting or trying to find love and all this shit is not real. It's fake. If you're still in 2025 watching what's that shit? The gold digger prank videos where a guy would dress up like a poor man, ask a girl for her number, she says no, he go hop in a Lamborghini and all of a sudden she run into his car, tapping on the window, trying to get at him. That ain't real. It's all fake. Everything. Do you want to know why they ridicule social media so much? Why does everybody shit on social media? People in your family. People in your family. People who are in media. And they sit there and they say, these guys are not real and none of this is true and these guys are clowns and this, that, and the third and they're conspiracy theorists. When people hate on people who do stuff on social media, a big majority is because they're letting the cat out the bag. When you see a TV star or a TV sports analyst talk about somebody who's doing sports analyst is on YouTube and they're talking about it in a negative fashion, it's not because this person doesn't have the credentials. The credentials don't even matter anymore because nobody's doing real journalism. Not even most of the people who are out here beat writers. Some beat writers do, but most of them don't. They're just trying to make the next clickbait worthy tabloid. It's all for views and clicks. That shit died years ago. So the reason why they hate on so many people on social media is because now the average day person can do it. It used to mean something to be where Nick Wright is now, What a Skip Bayless. Why Stephen A is signing like $125 million deal. It used to mean something to be of that ilk. Now the average day Joe can go pick up a microphone and do the same thing you do. And the only difference is networks say that you're great and networks don't say anything about this guy. That's the only difference, because you guys are basically talking the same talk. Oh, you know LeBron personally? So that's supposed to be the difference? Doesn't matter. Because LeBron James isn't going to give you anything positive except to talk about how great LeBron James is. There's never going to be anything negative about that. You're never going to be able to say anything negative about him. Not truly negative. Not, I heard LeBron snaked his best friend or did this or that. They used to come out and say, reports say Michael Jordan is gambling too much. They would never make a report on LeBron gambling if he was a gambler. They just wouldn't. You can't disrespect the king, according to them. That's why they get mad at people on social media. Oh, you guys figured us out. This is basically all we do. Half this shit's not real. None of it's real. Skits, pranks. When you see somebody walking around the hood with a PlayStation 5 and getting robbed, none of that ain't real. Right afterwards, they say cut and hand them some money and say, good job. This gonna get a lot of views. This one gonna go viral. You see people pranking people in the gym. Yo, little man, I'll give you $1,000 if you could beat me in a workout. That shit is not real. Half the people that he's walking up to are celebrity fitness influencers. I'm only bringing all this up because for some reason, I go, like, when you look at the comment section and just when you talk to old heads in general, people who are 50, 60, 40 years old, they tend to think that all of this stuff is really happening. But when you start watching it enough, you realize none of it's happening. You know, I was like 13, 14. I was young. I remember watching the first reality TV show I watched was, I think, Flavor of Love. And it was like the first season. I remember, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. He found love. He was trying to find Flavor was trying to find love. He finds this girl at the end. He picks her. And then I go, oh, okay, my man's found love. And then they had a reunion. And the reunion, for some reason, they broke up. I was like, oh, man, that's odd. You get me? Then he drops the second season. I'm like, okay, well, this will be the one. He brings back somebody named New York, who had all the clout at the time and was, very outgoing. Didn't know why he brought her back and didn't pick her, and then wound up picking this other light-skinned chick. And I'm like, oh, he finally found it. And then, like, they have another reunion, and they say that they broke up. And even at 13 years old, I sat there and I said, wait a minute. Wait just a damn minute. It ain't working out with none of them? You just gonna break up with them all? Something's rotten in Denmark. Something just ain't right. So then you realize, oh, it's not real. He just picked up a bunch of people, a bunch of what they would call hot females. They all auditioned to be on the show, but that's all this is. It's a TV show. Action! All right, and cut! None of the beats were real. None of the drama was real. None of the sincere love moments were real. He's not really trying to get married. He's not even looking for a wife. He's looking for a bag. He's looking for the money that this is going to make. So then when you start to realize that, you start to look at social media. You start to look at TV shows, the prank shows, every other show where drama ensues. None of that shit is real. And I'm pretty sure most of you guys already know this. Most people should know this by now. But there's a large majority of people. More people don't know than more people who do know. All of this shit is fake. None of it. The basketball drama, none of that shit. It used to be real. There used to be issues, but it's not real now. It's done. That part of the world is over. And I think some people get confused when they try to compare the two. So when people sit here and say, LeBron had no idea. Yes, he did. This shit ain't real. Of course he did. The narrative now is LeBron has to be the GOAT. So even at 40 years old, the commissioner realizes, oh, LeBron still got some game in him. What mega unstoppable Avengers level Thanos snapping player can we put around him? What team can we build to get LeBron to be the GOAT? Because that's the only thing that matters, is that chosen one tattoo he has on him. What narratives can we create? What can we put together? How positive can we talk about LeBron in order to make sure he's the GOAT? How many times can we let the referee swallow the whistle? I'm sorry, I stuttered right there. But how many times can we let the referee swallow the whistle in order to get him to be the damn GOAT? Swallow the whistle, bro. How many times can LeBron push somebody out the way without us calling an offensive foul? How many people can we put around LeBron that can play defense so that he doesn't have to? And then when the finals come and Luka put up 40 points and 40, 10, and 10, how can we still say LeBron was so impactful that he's the finals MVP if they wind up winning and getting there, which it looks like that's what they're going to try to push him in order to do this year? How many times can we get to, how many ways can we push the narrative that somehow, some way, LeBron was still the finals MVP? Can we make Luka have a bad game? Can Luka have a 12-point game one night? And that's all we need in order to push this narrative to say, look, he's 40, he deserves it. Finals MVP for Bron, 5 finals MVPs, 5 championships. Jordan, move over. 40, never done before. That's what's going to happen because none of this shit is real. So why are people frustrated? Why do you go tune in to Angry Old Hoops? Why do you tune in to Uncut, Dreamers Pro? It's not just so people can hate. People tune in, and the reason why we make this content is to let you guys know, guys, like everybody, open your eyes. Open your eyes. It's not real. You're in the Matrix. You're in the Truman Show. They're lying to you. This shit is fake. Anthony Davis, he was in La La Land. Now he's a Mav. It's fake. You were in the Matrix, bro. None of this shit was real. I can't believe it too. This is more of a rant style video, but it's just like, that's what you start to realize. That's what you see. And when you make content like this, where people perceive you as being negative, it's not really being negative. You're just telling the truth. Guys, relax. Stop jumping up for Bron. He's not the GOAT. Everything about his career was manufactured. It's all fiction. It's all fake. It's artificial, empty calories. Everything he does.
People do know about, right? There's Lenny Kravitz that said it. Oh, let me guess, Lenny Kravitz is lying to save your feelings, right? He's lying because he has nothing else better to do with his life than lie on LeBron James, right?
And this is the only thing that people get. They get little snippets. Somebody like a Lenny Kravitz, who you would swear was the rock star Lenny Kravitz, but it's like you only get little snippets of truth serum where somebody comes down and says, oh, I heard this, or I heard that, or this is what actually happened, or this is what actually happened. Because most of it has to be fake and manipulated for you. Draymond Green deserved to be suspended in 2016, even though LeBron pushed him first and stepped over his head. Yeah. No, guys. LeBron didn't petition to the NBA with Brian Windhorst in order to get Draymond Green suspended. No, that never happened. At all. Yes, guys, truthfully, that was the toughest championship ever won. You know why? Because that team was 73-9. Had to be. It was the toughest championship ever. That means LeBron has to be the GOAT. He has the hardest string ever. Guys, listen to me. I'll tell you the truth. Jordan played weak competition. Everybody was trash. Not another player knew how to play basketball but Jordan. That has to be why his resume is so perfect. He had to go against weaklings. And listen, while we're on that subject, everybody that LeBron has ever played against were so good. They were the best players ever. But the only problem, you know why they were the best players ever? Because he's in the best era. There's not one player in the NBA that doesn't have talent. They're so great. Oh, wait, except for the players that are actually on LeBron's team, all those guys are trash. All their careers were all lie. Everybody LeBron played with, they were all garbage. They all gave you 3 points a game. LeBron had to do all the work. While every other player, every 430 other players in the league, they were all juggernaut gods. They were all the greatest players ever. They were all so wonderful and so astronomically different on a different level than Jordan era ever was. It was nothing in Jordan. You know what? It was a bunch of Tiago splitters that Jordan went up against. A bunch of big oafs that couldn't do anything. But LeBron, he actually had to play against skill. That's the lie. That's the matrix. That's what we talk about. Can you guys open your eyes? Stop listening to the lies.
So Colin's saying this, it's there could be some truth to it. You know, there could be some truth to it. I don't really care one way or the other because it doesn't affect me. It affects really his friend, Anthony Davis. It doesn't affect me. And if you look at the situation now with the Dallas Mavericks, some people have asked me to touch on it, and I'll touch on it momentarily with the situation that happened with Kyrie Irving. First of all, a lot of respect to Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving tore his ACL. You could see that he was in so much pain. He stood at that free throw line. He could barely stand, and he shot those two free throws. Big respect to Kyrie Irving for paying homage to Kobe Bryant. When Kobe walked to the free throw line after rupturing his Achilles tendon, standing there and shot those two free throws and walked off the court unassisted. That was a powerful moment. Much respect.
Yeah, shout out to Kyrie for that, man. He did try to get his Kobe on. You know that was his Spengali, man. Kobe was his master and apprentice, I should say. It's a shame that the Mavs did this to their team. You do have to wonder, like, with this story, with the whole Colin Cowherd setup, what made the Mavs do this move? I have to think that there was a Manchurian candidate in that ownership group that worked for LeBron or the Lakers or just Nike and convinced them that this was the best move. Either that or they really just are so dogmatic and interested in joining and becoming a team in Vegas. It can't. And I think when you top it all off, they just painted Luka as this evil dude who, honestly, I've seen Luka the last couple of years. He's not somebody I would have necessarily wanted as a Laker. You get happy because he's 25 and he is super talented. You can build around him, especially when you're a free agent destination. But as a person, he seemed like he was pretty shitty. I'll just be honest with y'all. Like, I know y'all don't want to hear that. Luka seems like an asshole, just like LeBron's an asshole. LeBron is more of an evil dictator. But anybody who yells at the ref and shows the same face that Luka shows, and who foul baits as much as Luka, like I'm starting to dislike Austin Reeves too. On a side note, because he's just doing too much of that James Harden foul baiting shit, and it always disgusts me. I never saw flopping years before. I never saw this much traveling, and then what makes it worse is like none of the shit that you're doing now. It does make your stats look good. So look, when they're up for a contract and whatever, when their contract is up, they're looking at getting at least 10 more million, maybe even 30 more million more than they would have gotten if they did not do the flopping for free throws. So I get it. It's a contractual thing, but that does also show you just how greedy and how fucked up the league is nowadays compared to yesteryear. But outside of that, as far as from a winning aspect, it does nothing to make you a winner. You don't win anything by being an habitual flopper. Because in the playoffs, we all know the refs swallow those whistles. You cannot flop your way. And honestly, the teams are so locked in on beating your team that they don't even put themselves in that position where you can flop correctly and go for the foul. They don't play defense. The defense intensity increases so much, the level of play, the speed of the game, that you don't have time for gimmicks. You just don't. You're going to find yourself down 30 points easily. James Harden has found that out the hard way plenty of years. So it's like, when I see Luka doing it, when I see Austin Reeves doing it, and Bron, I'm just like, well, they'll probably always do something for Bron because he's got a monopoly. But for Luka and Reeves, like, good luck, bro. Good luck in pulling that shit off in the playoffs. And I've already seen Reeves in the playoffs. He can't do any of that. They don't allow him to do any of that shit, man.
Respect to Kyrie Irving for paying homage to the legacy of Kobe Bryant and what Mamba mentality truly meant, right? Devastating news for the Dallas Mavericks, and it got really bad for the Mavs really quickly. Really, really quickly, and there's a really sad situation that's going on there in Dallas. But back to what Colin Cowherd is saying, there could be some truth to it. So, look, here's my conclusion on all of this. I know some LeBron fans are going to be in the comments crying and screaming and hollering and, oh, you hate LeBron, you hate LeBron, you hate LeBron. Do me a favor, all right? For just maybe today. You guys will come back tomorrow because you're always going to be here tomorrow. I know this. Y'all are here every day. For today, all right? Given the fact that I'm just reporting on what Colin Cowherd said, I'm reacting to it, right? Because y'all like to kill the messenger. Go to Colin Cowherd's page and go disturb him. Go send him messages on Instagram the way y'all be messaging me, okay? Go cry to him and say why he said this about LeBron. Go do that. Spend the rest of the day doing that, and then tomorrow you can come back and cry in the comments, all right? For today, go holler at Colin Cowherd, then tomorrow come back and cry to me, all right? These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please.
He ain't lied on that one, man. Look, I accept all comments. I don't give a damn. Y'all sit here and gonna hate no matter what. Y'all sit here and say that we tripping no matter what. Believe what you want to believe. That's up to you. But I'm gonna keep pushing this content out because that's just what I do, baby. At the end of the day, I see the BS. I've saw the BS. This man's ever since Delonte. See, Delonte West, y'all don't realize he turned LeBron James into Darth Vader, bro. He turned this man into Darth Vader. I always compare LeBron to Darth Vader and Hercule from freaking Dragon Ball Z. If you watch anime, bro, Hercule had no powers whatsoever. An average martial artist human being. Gohan in the Cell Saga defeats Cell, knocks his man up out of here. Everybody who's a real fighter flies away. They all go home. After the debris is all cleared away, Hercule's the only one sitting there, and then the media asks Hercule, well, what happened? And he says, I defeated them all. I kicked Cell up out of there. Everyone else thanked me, and they just went home. And this man spent the next decade of his life being the king of the world, basically. The most famous person to ever exist, the hero of a nation, the hero of the entire planet, the king of earth, basically. Because he took all the credit for something he didn't do. You feel me? And lied and became a billionaire, one of the most richest men ever. That's LeBron, bro. That man will sit there and put every Avenger. He will put Superman, Batman. If we go to DC, he'll put Superman, Batman, the Flash, all on his team. This man will do basic work. When the going gets tough and there's 30 seconds left in the fourth, the other players is gonna make the shots or the play, the clutch shot like Kyrie Irving did to win the game. And all the credit, when the debris is settled, all the credit goes to LeBron. He's the hero who saved the day. That dude is Hercule, Satan from fucking Dragon Ball. That dude will always be, to me, one of the worst ambassadors of the NBA, which leads me to the next video I'm going to make about this Anthony Edwards coming out and basically saying he didn't want the ambassador name on him. And I'm going to deep dive into that on the next video, man. I appreciate you guys watching these videos, man. Like, comment, subscribe. This one took me like 90 minutes. Whew. Yeah, I'm breaking this down into like 3 parts, y'all. Y'all have a good one.